Hello, you guys. Welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa. Today, we're going to be discussing Ready to Love Season 9, Episode 1, Bigger in Texas. And today, I basically want to give somewhat of an introduction of the cast members. And then, when I'm done, I'm basically going to talk about the most, I suppose you could call it, talk worthy moments, and then we're gonna just leave it at that. It's not gonna be a play by play because you've seen it, we've seen it, so let's just discuss what needs to be discussed. So the people trickle in like they typically do. I believe it was Chad first, and then a woman named Jessica, and then we have Philip, who's 41 years old. He says he just wants to feel good. I don't know how to really take that statement, but then we have Tequila, aka Tequila. I feel like the word tequila suits her better because what we're gonna see later on in this season, it's going to be drama with her specifically. So I am just gonna call her Tequila from this day forward. Her name is spelled like tequila, but it's pronounced tequila. For me, it's just like tequila it is, okay? She is a self-proclaimed dramatist. So whoever, goes towards her likes drama as well. And I don't think that's a good thing. That just screams toxicity to me. But no wonder she's still single, because then we have Sierra. She looks and seems very tall. She kind of reminds me of Serena. Very tall, statuesque, light, short hair. She's a stylist. And she is talking to her BB. Can we just speak about her BB for a little bit? Because I'm not feeling this guy. I feel as if he decided to throw on all the Middle Eastern gab that he owned and create this persona out of it. I just don't like that. Like, use your real name, dress how you typically dress, and be yourself. From the bat, he's giving me inauthentic. He's wearing this Saudi Arabian gab on his head, and initially I thought it was religious, or I thought it had to do with maybe his parentage is from that part of the world. But it turns out that that's not even the case. It's simply just that he's gone there a couple of times and literally that's it. And he's calling himself Habibi. Who calls themselves Habibi? Like, I thought that was a pet name or something. It's a little much for me. It's just a complete turn off. So apparently he's like a saxophonist or something, and he says that he puts his instruments before his relationships. And that just is exactly why we're here today. And to be honest with you, I don't know if he's here for love. I feel like he's more here for the publicity of it all as opposed to love. And some women caught up to him. So we have Herbert, this locked head guy. He seems tall, he seems cool. Then we have Leanne, who's 49 years old, and she actually looks really, really good for her age. In fact, Leanne looks younger than Jessica looks, and Jessica is supposed to be like in her late 30s, whereas Leanne is like almost 50. It's genetics. Leanne is definitely giving bougie. And she's into the whole astrology thing. Really and truly, astrology really doesn't mean that much as we add to it. You know what it is? That's we tend to, stay on the very superficial side of astrology and make it the person's whole personality trait. Oh, you're a Libra, that means you're this and that, when really and truly there's many people who are born in that Libra arena who act completely differently. So like, on a scientific basis, it makes no sense because it's unreliable. Herbert thinks Geminis are crazy people. It makes sense considering they're supposed to be these bipolar people, but then again, it's not the sign, it's the individual. Herbert has never been married, so maybe it's a situation where he's afraid of commitment or something of that sort, but it's not giving me very green flags. Then we have Marvin, and later on we learn that Marvin has this type of kink where he feels like there needs to be some, I don't know, harm, self-harm, or like fun harm, or whatever they call these things where they tie you up and whatever. That immediately turns me off from him because it's like you might just be crazy. Or he's an erotic author and a sensual dominant person, I guess. I don't know what that is. Marvin is extremely specific in terms of the niche that he is in and what he requires. And I know he seems handsome right now and people are gonna flock towards him because a lot of women tend to do this thing where they hear something questionable about a guy, and because he's attractive, they tend to ignore it just because they want to know the guy or they want to be with the guy. Then when they leave the show and the relationship is left to their own devices behind closed doors, things fall apart because fundamentally it was never really aligned. It was just attraction. So we have Unique. So Unique was talking to Marvin and she was a bit taken back by his erotic kink side, but she's intrigued. So just like I said, it would not completely turn a woman off because the man is attractive. So Tommy comes in, gives his speech, and essentially two people are going to be sent home, one woman and one man. So after that, we're introduced to Janelle, who's 41 years old, and later on we see that a lot of men are indeed attracted to her, and it's probably because of her seemingly warm personality. People that know how to touch you in a way that's not invading your privacy but still making you feel like I'm so into your conversation tend to leave people with a lot of positive feelings about who they are. So we learned that she is an adoptee. She absolutely has abandonment issues when it comes to being adopted as a kid. So Red is the guy that was talking to her. He has these huge eyes. Later on we find out he's a comedian and he does something else that, another cast member seems to know him from. Doesn't seem like a good sign to me because she says he has red flags. Not Janelle, but this other woman he speaks to later on. So Brandon comes in. Everybody's talking to everybody. They're mingling. This is where we learn that Brandon has 4 children, and we learned that he married his ex-wife. He married his ex-wife twice. So he married her, divorced her, went back and married her, and just divorced her. It's only been 6 months and has 4 children within that situation. You could see that in 2 ways. Some women saw it as a red flag, like you're not sure of what you want type of thing, or even if you're done, are you really done type of thing. Like with some women almost look at it as if they take a chance with him, they're putting themselves in limbo because they don't know if he's gonna go back to his ex. And then the other thing of it is like some people may feel as if he was fighting for his relationship, and the fact that he was even married, some women are hopeful because they know with him I could look at marriage as well because he's been married before and it's something that he's open to. This is so funny. The moment Janelle realized that her baby wasn't even from Saudi or Dubai, she was already upset. She was already annoyed because it's like, why is there like this whole thing, this whole persona when that's not even where you come from? You come from Texas. I'm so confused. I'm just like her. We're both confused. Why is Habibi even on this show? Like, if you're going to continuously make the choice of choosing music, why are you on the show? Like, there's nothing different about you. And then we later find out that he got some random woman pregnant after knowing her for 11 days. 11 days. So this guy is just a walking red turban. That's literally what he is. I would stay clear if I were any woman. The man said he needs the lady to accept the fact that he's gonna always choose music before her. This man is not ready for any relationship. He needs to get gone like yesterday. But for some reason, I feel like they're gonna keep him. I hope they don't, but I feel like they will. I don't think I got the name of Boots. I'm gonna call her Boots. She was wearing this type of lilac dress and this big white boots, and I'm pretty sure it was hot, so I'm not sure why she was wearing boots, but either way, I did not get her name. So Tequila and this guy are talking, and I think he's a former pastor, or is he a current pastor? And she's asking this guy where was the nastiest or weirdest place he had slept with somebody. Like, why would you ask that question? Either way, he answers, and his answer turns her off from him. I feel like a lot of the time the women feel as if the men are gonna be chasing them on the show. This is not the Bachelorette where there's one woman and multiple men. So this is not a situation where you can just treat people however you feel and then feel as if there's not gonna be any repercussion after it. These men also have to take a woman out. The woman also has to take the man out. So both parties have to be on their P's and Q's. And that's where she's gonna fall short. So the men were feeling Lee in her red dress. So we see Quinton, first person to go up to Lee. I think he's like 33 years old, looks like a football player, tall, muscular. I feel like him and Lee would actually look like a really good couple. Quinton loves commitment. Whenever he gets into a relationship, he wants marriage. Now that may seem like a really good thing, but I don't think it really is. Simply because it shows that he doesn't really take time to see who he's dating. And in situations like these, what tends to happen is, let's say he does get married to this woman after a couple months. After the wedding is when he'll really figure out that maybe this person wasn't the right one to marry. But then it would be too late because he already married them. So essentially what I'm saying is, it doesn't seem as if he takes his time when he's going about finding wise or good prospects to be wise, because he thinks too much with his emotion and not enough with his logical brain. Morier, I think his name is Morier. It reminds me of Wanye, just that really big teddy bearish type of personality. So his dad passed away recently. I think it was a year ago. So he's still trying to process that loss. So it makes me wonder if he is truly ready for a commitment, if he's still grieving, or will that propel him into finding the best person for him? So here this woman goes again about zodiac signs, like it means anything. I mean, okay, she's talking with Maury, and he speaks on his dad's passing, which he clearly is still bothered by. He is still choked up about. And Leanne just has this very nonchalant, uncaring response to him literally pouring his heart out about his dad. So that just leads me to believe that she's not a very warm person, and she doesn't present herself as a safe space. So I feel like it's gonna be really difficult for her in this process if that's how she's going to continue to act. Granted, it's the first day, you're just trying to know people, you're trying to take it slow, but still you're also giving people the first impression of you. Do you want that first impression to be that you're heartless and cold? I don't think so. Then she calls the man vertically challenged. That's just like, what does that have to really do with anything in the grand scheme of things? So the men meet in the lounge, and we learned that the men are really feeling Lee, Kira, which is actually Miss Boots, And they're also feeling Janelle, I think. And they're not really feeling Tequila and Leanne. And in the deliberation, Leanne goes home. Tequila is gonna be a problem. I see it already. When she finds out she almost got sent home, she spirals into an emotional abyss and is trying to now seek reasonings as to why she was placed in that position. Because according to her, the men, she thought she and the men were cool and somebody lying and whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if they found somebody there that's, that tends to spark with them more than you, then that's how you get sent home. Them telling you, oh, you seem like a cool lady, doesn't equate to them wanting you to stay, because they may just not have any type of emotional connection to you besides being your friend. I mean, it's not rocket science. But she ends up crying to Maury, and then she finds her way over to her BB. Maury is really a nice guy. I hope he finds someone. So Brandon and Lee are talking. Of course, I'm pretty sure Lee stands out because her body is banging. But Lee wasn't too interested in Brandon's married, not married, married, not married whole situation. You're divorced 6 months ago. You don't need to be on this show. Go and heal somewhere. Because clearly what it seems like to me with Brandon is he doesn't really take time to really assess things. He just does things impulsively. And that's a turn off. So Unique goes to speak to Red, and she's the one that figures his face looks familiar. And then she finds out that, oh, you work in like similar industries and you're a comedian and you're this. And that made him, to her, be a red flag. So Tequila is telling her BB, about her past trauma with cheating and whatever. And he's asking her, oh, well, will you cheat? Would you cheat on him with me? And she says yes. And I'm like, so it's not necessarily that you are not prone to cheating. It's just that you didn't find a person to cheat with. I don't know. It's crazy. She's already so into her BB, and that's crazy to me. 2 red flags. So the women are in the lounge discussing which man they want to send home. And if you see how deeply Tequila is fighting for her BB, all the other women are turned off by him except for Tequila. Because I guess that's the only guy that cares for her ratchetry, I suppose. And so she's like, I'm fighting for him. And then the women are like, well, okay. But the way it typically works is it has to be more than just one person fighting for a guy for him to stay. So Janelle is basically saying her BB is just like a copycat. Like he's gonna just pick up all the traits he thinks you want to see, and then he's gonna exude that back to you. And Miss Tequila disagrees, and she's like, people don't value that type of love. What type of love? The copycat kind of love? The fake I understand you type of love? I really want to know. Like, she needed to elaborate in that moment. So essentially it's between Brandon and her BB. Brandon married, not married, and her BB fake Saudi, fake Middle Easterner. Like, who's gonna be sent home? And we're left on a cliffhanger. They never really tell us who's gonna be sent home. So let me just preview the upcoming episodes and try to gauge who I think is gonna be sent home today. I really couldn't determine it based on the clip, but my best bet is Brandon is gonna be sent home and her BB is gonna be the one that stays, because he just seems like the most dramatic one out of the two. Anyways, you guys, let me know what you think about this particular episode. Are you feeling Tequila? Are you feeling Habibi? Are you feeling all the cast members or any of the cast members? Let me know in the comment section. Like, subscribe, and see you guys next time for another review. Bye bye.